unmute myself here. How is everybody doing? Welcome, one and all, to ThrillGeek This week. Apologies for the delayed stream this week. I had a bunch of stuff yesterday with kids, and just everything was insane. So I'm here, and joining me for a little bit this evening is Madison. So everybody say hello to Madison.
Hello.
She's gonna be chit-chatting here for a few minutes, and then she's got to jet on out of here. So I'm gonna get going here because I have a lot to talk about later on. But first things first, we're gonna dive. Oh, my puppy's whining. The Huskers is whining. He wants to go for a walk, but it's storming. Like as we said before we went live here, it's been storming like crazy. So I'm like, sorry, pup, you're gonna have to wait. And he gets very sad when he can't go for a walk. So, but yeah, I'm gonna bring up comments here so I can see everybody chatting in the chat room. Hello YouTube, hello Twitch. But yeah, we're gonna kick things off and chat about Pipeline first things here on the stream. Let me bring up our video. Madison and I were at the media event last week for the new Pipeline, the surf coaster at SeaWorld Orlando, which is being dubbed as the world's first surf coaster. SeaWorld refuses to call it a stand-up coaster. They don't like it when people are calling it a stand-up coaster for some reason, even though it's technically a stand-up coaster. So anyways, but yeah, we were there for Media Day. SeaWorld was nice enough to invite us out, so I invited Madison out. And this was actually her first stand-up coaster. I hate to call it that, but it was her first time. It was her first time on one. So we went there. We walked around. Unfortunately, we only got to ride one time. I was kind of bummed. They were not allowing re-rides for some reason during this media event, which normally I've been to other SeaWorld opening media events, and you were able to ride multiple times, but we were only able to get one ride on. And that was the one they were filming us, which if you're watching the video here, you'll actually see our on-ride video coming up. And you'll get to see Madison's hair go absolutely crazy and fly all over the place, which it was fun for me to pick the thumbnail for that, because I was like, this is what I'm going to base the YouTube thumbnail off of is Madison's hair going every which way, which was fantastic. So but yeah, no, this was Madison's first stand-up coaster. So Madison, what were your kind of impressions on Pipeline? First thoughts. What were you expecting? What was it, more than what you expected? Least? What were your thoughts on Pipeline?
I thought it was great. I mean, I don't know if I went in with expectations, only because I had never done a stand-up coaster. But I feel like it wasn't what I was expecting. Like, when you hear, I mean, obviously they're trying not to call it a stand-up coaster, but when people are talking about stand-up coasters and talking about their experiences with them and how a lot of people don't like them because of the seating and how it's uncomfortable and you have to stand the whole time, like, I think I genuinely felt like my feet were going to be on a platform, like just on a floor for the entire time. And so I wasn't expecting all the airtime we got. So I feel like, to me, it didn't even feel like a stand-up coaster. Like, it almost just felt like a regular coaster.
Just a regular coaster.
Dangling. Yeah. Just because I felt like my feet were barely on the floor.
There goes her hair. For those of you watching the stream, there goes her Madison's hair all over the place. You can literally see the airtime moments when you see Madison's hair go, like right there. It's so great. But yeah, no, that was one of the surprising things with me with Pipeline were the airtime moments, because you never really got those on older B&M the original B&M stand-up coasters, because you were bracing for the worst and hoping for the best on traditional B&M stand-up coasters. So with Pipeline, the way it works is your harness comes down, it still kind of sort of locks into place, and I got confirmation that the harness moves 2 inches up and 2 inches down from where you're locked into place. I mean, obviously you can tell from the on-ride video, Madison's is locked in at a different height than mine, because we're, two completely different heights. So what it does is it still locks into place with your height. As you saw at the beginning of the video, I'm going to skip us talking here and kind of go over to some more video of the ride. I think I go to merchandise next. No, I show some more off-ride.
Yeah.
But there is a maximum height requirement of 70. I think it was 74, right? I'd have to go back to the 70.
Yeah.
It's right here, 78. I was
Yes.
4 inches off. So if you're really, really, I think somebody did the math, and I think that's 6'6".
I think so.
I think it was 6'6", 78 inches. If you're over that, you cannot ride, and it's mainly because the harnesses can only go up so high, and that's obviously a safety precaution. So take that into note. If you're really tall, like I said, I believe it's 6'6". If you're over that, you probably won't be able to ride Pipeline at SeaWorld. And here's a look at some of the merchandise for those of you watching the stream. Just some generic merchandise, hats, shirts. I think there's a pen, there's a magnet, there's a tumbler, and then there was some pass holder merchandise, or there was a pass holder T-shirt, I think, and some other things. But yeah, no, going back to kind of our thoughts on the ride. Kind of going off what Madison was saying about the airtime. It was really surprising the amount of airtime you get on this thing for a quote unquote stand-up coaster. I think there was 2 or 3 really good airtime moments, and there were several people riding at the media event and that have ridden afterwards that are literally like, if you can literally jump up in these airtime moments and kind of come back down, and just having fun with the whole thing, the whole surfing thing. The launch was really cool. It's 0 to 60. So the launch was really cool. It's got that one little kind of bump in the launch to kind of give you that sensation of surfing. Yeah, it was. I think it's a great addition to SeaWorld. It's a perfect fit. It's unique. It's one of a kind. Yeah, I liked it. I think it's a good fit for SeaWorld. It is in. Well, I don't know. They are doing pass holder previews now. And I believe the official opening is on May 20. I think I have it here.
I think it's the 27th.
Yeah, 26. From 26? Now, yeah. Right now, it's gold is 518 to 520. Silver is coming up here. Yeah, today gold started, and then 521 to 523 is silver. Bronze is 524 to 525. And then all pass members and fun cards can ride 526. And like Madison said, I believe the grand opening is May 27th. So anyways, there you have it. Pipeline, SeaWorld Orlando. It's a really great ride. Everything I've seen so far online from people's reactions. Here's a look at the lockers, the general area. There's a gift shop. There's lockers. There are 2 Coke freestyle machines for you to refill your freestyle mug.
And I think post media, they've added the little like cooler storage bins at like the top of the ride for.
I saw those, for like loose articles.
Yes.
And they've added. I've seen people post pictures after the media event for the pass holder previews that have been going on, and they've added some other theming elements like surfboards and stuff.
Those are really cool.
Yeah, so they're not quite done with the theming yet. They were still kind of working on things when we were there, so it's getting down to the wire here. As you can tell, some of the walkways were still. I didn't know if this walkway in the video right now down there where I'm pointing, where those cones are. I don't know if that's going to be an open walkway or not, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, the whole area is really great. It's a really photogenic coaster. It's absolutely like if you're a fan of like taking video or photos of roller coasters. This is your absolute dream. Like this shot that I got of the video going into it has one inversion, and it's this one right here, this giant, I guess you could call it a corkscrew almost. But yeah, it's a really photogenic ride. You can literally walk either next to or under the ride. And then there's this really cool mural. If you're out in the parking lot, leaving the park, they did a great job with this mural, kind of camouflaging. This is the train garage where they store the trains for Pipeline. They painted this really cool kind of a postcard vibe from it. It says greetings from SeaWorld, and it's got like all these little things inside the letters that kind of represent stuff all over SeaWorld. So it was really cool. It's a good ride. I liked it. I can't wait to get back and ride it. Take my oldest Jordan. He's ready to ride it, so we'll definitely have to get back. And like I said, we only got to ride it one time, so I was kind of bummed out from that perspective. I like to ride rides multiple times, front, back, middle, to really get my full thoughts on a ride. But unfortunately, we were only able to ride once during the media event. But we will definitely be getting back and riding some more Pipeline. So cool. All right, Madison, get on out of here.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you so much for coming on, chatting for a few minutes. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I'm gonna hold down the fort here and dive into all the insanity that's been going on this week. So
yes.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and drive safe wherever you're going, because Orlando drivers and the rain. So
yes, they're wonderful.
Safe.
They're wonderful just in the daytime with no rain, but then you add the rain, and
add the rain, and it's a whole other level of insanity here in Orlando with the driver. So drive safe. All right.
Thank you. Hi guys.
Bye, Madison. So, all right. You guys are stuck with me for the next 45 minutes or so, an hour. So I'm going to dive on into the news here. We have a lot to get into. Let me bring this back up. Get rid of this. Bring this back up. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to do some quick hits here first. Really only one, and then we're going to get into the big news. Really quick, Hollow Scream at Busch Gardens Tampa announced their first house for their event this year. It is D.H. Bagham's Circus of Fear. And their description says, "Come one, come all, to the most terrifying show you've ever seen. D.H. Bagham brings you all his monstrosities that are sure to make your spine tingle and your blood run cold." And then they've been running, SeaWorld this time of the year for Hollow Scream and Busch Gardens. They always run these really, really, really good deals for tickets, and they had a ticket sale going. I think that only ran for the weekend. It was like $36 or $38 for tickets, and you had to buy a minimum of 2. So they run all these really great deals, and you really have to take advantage of them. I think I can't remember how much it is, but they have a ticket for both Hollow Scream in Orlando and SeaWorld Orlando and Busch Gardens Tampa, and it's like $150, $160 or something like that, which is an insane deal. You get every night at Hollow Scream, Busch Gardens, and SeaWorld Orlando. So it's a really good deal. I think that sale is still ongoing. So anyways, I'm going to keep on going here. We got some really interesting news from Universal Studios Japan. This was a big discussion earlier this week before all of today's news dropped with Galactic Star Cruiser and everything, which we'll talk about later. Terminator 2 3D and Backdraft are remaining permanently closed at Universal Studios Japan. This was part of the announcement, which is the next thing we're going to talk about the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man closing at Universal Studios Japan. Both of these attractions, Terminator 2 3D and Backdraft, closed in, I think it was September of 2020 due to the pandemic and just never reopened. But Universal Studios Japan made it official that they are not reopening either of these attractions. Their statement said, "In striving to infinitely evolve, and grow by creating no-limit entertainment that amazes visitors, Universal Studios Japan will be renewing multiple attractions to offer new thrills at the park. Terminator 2 3D has been closed since September 14th of 2020, and Backdraft will also cease operating." And then it says, "These attractions have been a wonderful part of the park, thrilling and entertaining guests for many years." So it's kind of sad, Backdraft, whatever. That ride has lived its time, and it was time for it to go. Nobody knows what the heck Backdraft is anymore. Maybe people in Japan do. I don't know, but Backdraft was basically their Twister for what we had over here. We had Twister. They had Backdraft. It was just a bunch of explosions and fire effects, and it was one of those things where you just stood and watched, like Twister here at Universal Studios Florida. The worser of the two is Terminator 2 3D closing, because this obviously is the last one that remained open, obviously up until 2020 when it closed at Universal Studios Japan only to remain closed. Because I think first Hollywood's closed, and then Orlando's closed for the Bourne Spectacular, and then our Universal Studios Japan will now be keeping theirs closed. I was going to say closing it, but it's been closed since September of 2020 due to the pandemic. So, but again, this is all part of what we will be talking about next. Is The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man 4K 3D The Ride will be closing permanently at Universal Studios Japan. This was a pretty big deal online on social media and everything, about everybody talking about this closing, because this is a big attraction, and it was a big shock to see them announcing the closure of this ride. The ride will be closing on January 22nd of 2024, so next year, and it will that whole area will basically be closed off, because like I was just talking about in the previous article, Terminator 2 3D and Backdraft are also in that kind of New York area of Universal Studios Japan. For those of you that aren't too quite familiar with Universal Studios Japan, you can look at it from Google Maps, and it's like Terminator 2 3D, Spider-Man, and then over to the left of that is Backdraft. So all three of those rides are going to be either remaining closed or going to be closed. But yeah, and then there was a lot of discussion about, what's going on with our Spider-Man here? It's a completely different scenario over here with the whole contract with Disney and Marvel and Universal's contract with Marvel. I don't see our Spider-Man going anywhere anytime soon, at least within not the next 5 years or so. It's a little bit different. Universal has no reason to get rid of the Marvel rights anytime soon, in my opinion. So they will be holding on to Spider-Man the Ride for as long as they can. But yeah, no, they announced that Japan's will be closing. And then the other reason that this will be interesting is now Tokyo Disney can build something Marvel, because this is the only thing Marvel that's over there at Universal Studios Japan. They don't have a whole land like we do. They have just this ride in the New York section of the park. This ride is basically in what we have here is known as the Mummy. It's literally the same facade as the Mummy ride with the museum, except there's like a giant Spider-Man logo on it. It's really interesting. But yeah, to celebrate, I guess celebrate isn't the appropriate word. To commemorate, I guess, is the more appropriate word, the closing of the ride. Universal Studios Japan is going to be doing all sorts of special things for guests at the park. There's going to be a commemorative sticker. It says a farewell promotion for the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, limited edition design sticker to be distributed. There will be new limited edition merchandise that will be sold during the farewell campaign, which I believe they announced up here where the time frame of this kind of going away celebration that they're doing. It'll start. Yeah, Universal Studios Japan will begin the farewell campaign for the Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man the Ride on Tuesday, July 4th. So I'm guessing that runs through until when the ride closes. But yeah, they announced that there's going to be limited edition merchandise, new foods, and special items available for purchase. And then there will be a special Express Pass option that will be offered that guarantees visitors the ability to enjoy the Spider-Man ride's finale and shorten wait times. So that's kind of cool that they're doing that. And then it says here, guests can choose from pass types that guarantee entry to Spider-Man the Ride twice, or include limited edition commemorative items, which I'm not quite sure what that means. Sometimes these press releases from Universal Studios Japan are like in Japanese, and I do my best to translate them, which is sometimes a little difficult to do. So, but yeah, The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man closing at Universal Studios Japan on January 22nd, 2024. And I believe, from what I've seen from videos, their Spider-Man ride is pretty much identical to ours. I haven't watched a full on-ride video of theirs in a while, so somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But I think their Spider-Man ride is pretty similar to ours, if not an exact clone. So, all right, moving on. I need to take a drink. I'm talking a lot. Announced today, Universal Orlando Resort and Universal Studios Hollywood will be celebrating 30 years of Jurassic Park. Yes, 30 years. Makes me feel old because this movie was my favorite as a child. And the fact that this movie is celebrating 30 years kind of makes me feel just a little old. But I'm going to kind of go over some of the stuff that Universal Studios Universal Orlando Resort will be how they'll be celebrating the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park. Of course, first things first, they mentioned Jurassic Park River Adventure and Velocicoaster, even though it's Jurassic World, not Jurassic Park. They got to throw it in there because what's wrong with the little Velocicoaster promotion? Absolutely nothing. It being one of the best coasters in Florida, if not the East Coast of the United States. We will be getting a Jurassic Park tribute store, which they posted pictures today of the facade going up. It looks really cool. It says it'll be opening up on May 26th. The immersive retail location will invite guests to explore the history of the blockbuster movie as they venture through a series of themed rooms that highlight everything from pre-production elements like storyboards and blueprints to photo ops that recreate memorable scenes from the iconic film. And then it says guests can also shop exclusive 30th anniversary merchandise, including apparel, hats, keychains, plush collectibles, and more. There will be Jurassic-themed menu items at Thunder Falls Terrace. They said Thunder Falls. Is it still Thunder Falls? Thunder Falls Terrace? I've always called it Thunder Falls Terrace. At Islands of Adventure, there will be a coconut cajita churro, which is a caramel-infused churro drizzled with coconut flakes and caramel sauce. That sounds really good. These sound really good. I read these earlier. Prehistoric raptor wings, which are char-grilled chicken wings, marinated with olive and spices and then tossed in a sweet chili sauce and served with cilantro lime rice, black beans, and a plantain chip. And then it says guests can also enjoy an exclusive Jurassic Park 30th anniversary Fanta flavor, the Wild Refresher, starting June 1st. And then also at Universal Orlando Resort, there will be Jurassic Park film screenings at Universal Cinemark and City Walk. You can catch screenings of the original Jurassic Park on June 9th, 10th, and 11th at Universal Cinemark in Universal City Walk. Over at Universal Studios Hollywood, there will be exclusive Jurassic Park 30th anniversary merchandise. It doesn't say anything available, any particular, where they're located. There will be Jurassic-themed food and beverage offerings, it says it'll serve up a new selection of Latin American-inspired food and themed anniversary beverages this summer at Jurassic Cafe, located next to Jurassic World The Ride. And it says the new menu will feature grilled veggie and beef skewers, Brazilian cheese bread, raptor hummus, coconut flan, dino chocolate tres leches cake, and a family feast, which is 2 half chickens and 2 skewers, hummus, chips, cheese balls, mojo pork, and vegetables. And then it says guests can quench their thirst with the Jurassic World-themed boxed water and exclusive Jurassic Park 30th anniversary Wild Refresher Fanta flavor, similar to the Universal Orlando one, or an amber mojito, which sounds pretty good. And then it says the popular Isla New Bars menu will expand to include a new Jurassic water cocktail and dinosaur-themed wines. That's pretty cool. There will be a pterodactyl rosé and a Blancosaurus, which is pretty funny. Additionally, cocktails can be served in a new souvenir volcano tiki cup, which is pretty neat. And then also at Universal Studios Hollywood, there will be Jurassic Park screenings at the Universal Cinema AMC in City Walk. This will take place on the weekend of June 9th. So there you have it. Some really fun activities and food and beverage offerings coming to both Universal Orlando Resort and Universal Studios Hollywood for Jurassic Park's 30th anniversary. And I will be definitely heading out to Universal Studios Florida when the Jurassic Park tribute store opens and checking that out. So be sure to look for coverage for that. So, all right, moving on. Also, some Universal Orlando Resort. We got more details, new details about Minion Land coming to Universal Studios Florida. Universal pretty much announced the whole land. We've obviously known that the Villain Con Minion Blast attraction has been coming, and that was announced. I forgot when that was officially announced. Several months back. But that's wrapping up. But now we have a whole land coming to Universal Studios Florida. Pretty much, for those of you that are familiar with Universal Studios Florida, this Minion Land will be taking over pretty much the former Monster Cafe area. As you can see in this concept artwork here, this is looking from where this picture is taken, you've already walked past the former Shrek 4D attraction, what's going to be the Villain Con Minion Blast, and you're looking at the corner of Monster Cafe. This is the Bake My Day Bakery. Here's some new concept artwork for the Villain Con Minion Blast. We got our first look at the blaster rifles that guests will be using in the Villain Con Minion Blast attraction. They did share some new details about the attraction today on their Discover Universal blog. There will be no height requirement for the attraction, but you must be able to stand on the attraction. And it also mentioned that guests will be able to customize and keep track of their stats and stuff on the Universal Orlando app, which is pretty cool. Here's a look at the Minions Cafe concept artwork. Again, this is the former Universal Classic Monsters Cafe facade. Obviously, the same entrance. I really like how they're covering this whole area out front, though. This looks really great. Shade, more shade. They're covering this whole area, and you can see the Minions Cafe logo up here. And it says there will be 3 themed areas designed after beloved Minions Kevin, Stuart, and Bob, and Otto. The kitchen, where guests will get a glimpse of the equipment and gear the Minions have used to whip up the cafe's menu. The break room, where guests can dine in the Minions break space that includes everything from office safety tips to a vending machine stocked with mischievous items. And the dining room, a vibrant space adorned with colorful artwork, courtesy of the Minions, and more. Then it says guests can also enjoy their meal on an outdoor patio that overlooks the fun of Minion Land, which I'm guessing is this area over here. You can kind of see some lamps over here behind this wall over here. And I'm guessing that's going to be kind of the outdoor patio area, which will be nice. Then they also announced some of the food that will be coming to Minion Cafe. There will be eclectic Despicables, such as Otto's Noodle Bowl, Agnes's Honeymoon Soup, and Carl's Crispy Cauliflower. This is a vegan offering. And there will be a handheld such as the Steak and Cheesy Ray Sandwich. Desserts available such as Bob's Teddy Bear Chocolate Cream Puff. And, of course, there will be a kids menu for the Mini Minions that will include the Mini Bosses Mega Melt and so much more. Again, here's a look at the Bake My Day Bakery, which will feature a selection of Minion-themed sweet treats, including cupcakes, macaroons, s'mores, and more, along with an exclusive Minion-inspired merchandise like apparel, plush, drinkware, accessories, keychains, and more. And then there's going to be the Pop Banana, which will feature, it's a popcorn stand, and it will be featuring banana-flavored popcorn. I'm not too sure. Trustbreaker49 says, I wonder if Rip Ride Rocket will eventually be rethemed. I don't know. That's kind of off there on the side. To be honest, they could get rid of that ride. But I don't know. I don't know if it would be ever. I don't think it would be themed to something Illuminations. I don't see them retheming it. It's kind of off in its own little area. But yeah, this Pop-A-Nana popcorn stand. It says this walk-up location features sweet and savory popcorn inspired by the Minions' love for bananas. Here, guests may also find an assortment of cute popcorn buckets, including the Minions selfie bucket. And then there will be freeze-ray pops. It'll feature a variety of colorful popsicles inspired by Gru, the Minions, and Vector, along with beverages. And then last but not least, there will be the Illuminations Theater, which is in this concept artwork. It's over here on the right-hand side. And this is the former Shrek Donkey meet and greet area, which will now be the Illumination Theater, I should say. And here you'll be able to greet and interact with beloved characters such as Minions, Gru, Margot, Edith, Agnes, plus new additions from the hit film Seeing Rosita, Gunter, and Johnny at an outdoor Illumination Theater facade. And then it says guests can also discover murals, photo ops, and more throughout Minion Land that celebrate additional characters from popular Illuminations film. So, there you have it. There's some details about the Minion Land coming to Universal Studios Florida. Obviously, the new anchor attraction being the VillainCon Minion Blast. They said more details will be released soon about VillainCon Minion Blast. So as soon as... Yeah, Michael, that cheese ray sandwich sounds pretty yummy. I'm pretty excited about that. I don't think I posted the I quick got this article up when they announced it. There is a picture of that cheesy ray sandwich, which looks amazing. I'll have to update it. And there's also a picture of a kids menu grilled cheese sandwich with... I had this debate on Twitter. It was Minions. A lot of people thought they were chicken nuggets. They're shaped like Minions, but I think they're like potato, like tater tot Minion things. They almost look like those smiley face potato things that you can get at the store. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they were tots. I was like, are these tater tots or chicken nuggets? These little Minion things, and everybody was like, the vast majority of people were pretty convinced that they were potato, like tater tot things, and not French fries. So anyways, that's the exciting conversations we have on Twitter about food coming to theme parks. So we have all these details up on ThrillGeek.com if you guys want to come back and check it out. And like I said, I will. I forgot to mention this. As soon as guests enter Minion Land, they'll be greeted by a fun photo-worthy Minion Land marquee featuring 22 minions before embarking on the mischief that awaits along Illumination Avenue. So yeah. Again, we have all these details up on ThrillGeek.com if you guys want to go back and check this out. And like I said, I will definitely be updating. Like I said, I have there's a few more pictures of some of the food you'll be able to get at Minion Cafe that I will add to the article as well. So, moving on. We're moving on to Disney World now. Some Disney news to talk about. There will be VIP pass holder days coming to Disney World. They will be back. Disney shared details about what guests can expect for the VI pass holder days coming back to Disney World. There will be a new pass holder magnet, which, for those of you that follow us on Twitter, will be a Figment magnet. We got confirmation today that it'll be a Figment. They didn't share a picture of it, but they shared a little video on the Disney World pass holder Facebook page of Figment, like, writing something, and it's confirmed to be a Figment magnet. Then there will be limited time exclusive space to rest and cool off with the dedicated seating. Pass holders can enjoy increased discounts on select merchandise and dining locations across Walt Disney World Resort, including select Flower and Garden outdoor kitchens, which is pretty cool. There will be new pass holder exclusive treats that will be available for purchase, and also pass holders will get a chance to capture memories of their latest park visit with two limited time photo ops. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking, so I need to drink stuff. My throat's like... So yeah, VI pass holder days are coming back to Disney World. Wanted to quick mention that as well. Again, we have all these details up on ThrillGeek.com if you guys want to come back and check this out. So, all right, on to pretty much the big story from today. Disney World officially announced that Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser is permanently closing at Walt Disney World. This was a pretty big announcement that this thing is closing permanently. I'll kind of read you guys the quick statement that they said here, and for those of you watching the live stream, I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Galactic Star Cruiser closing. It says Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser is one of our most creative projects ever and has been praised by our guests and recognized for setting a new bar for innovation and immersive entertainment. This premium boutique experience gave us the opportunity to try new things on a smaller scale of 100 rooms. As we prepare for its final voyage, we will take what we've learned to create future experiences that can reach more of our guests and fans. And then they went on to say, we are so proud of all the cast members and Imagineers who brought Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser to life and look forward to delivering an excellent experience for guests during the remaining voyages over the coming months. Disney also announced that voyages bookings are currently closed, while Disney reaches out to guests with voyages after the closure date so they can modify those plans, whether they get them rescheduled for another voyage or what have you. And it says bookings will reopen on May 26th. And the final voyage will take place September 28th through September 30th, which is my birthday. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe. Will y'all donate to my GoFundMe so I can go on Galactic Star Cruiser for my birthday, the final voyage? Let me know. So yeah, huge news, obviously. I think a lot of people were expecting Galactic Star Cruiser to just kind of, we saw Disney with all the discounts over the last several months with pass holder discounts and DVC discounts. So those are all telltale signs that things were not going well for Galactic Star Cruiser. And here we are now getting confirmation from Disney that it is closing for good at the end of September. So yeah, it's I went there for the media event. I never got to do the full experience. The media event that they did they did a media event that was a full on, you did the whole thing for some of the bigger YouTubers and stuff like that. And then they had like a media day, and it was like a 6-8 hour crash course of Galactic Star Cruiser. Like, we got a little sampling of everything. We got to eat the dinner with what's her name, and we got to do some of the missions, and we got to go out on the bridge. It was basically like a crash course of the full Galactic Star Cruiser experience. We got to tour the rooms. We never got to do the full 2-day experience, which was fine by me. The little sampling that we got was enough for me to get I would have loved to have done the full experience, but the 1-day crash course that we got was pretty cool. I'm pretty. It's pretty cool that I even got to do that. Now that it's closing permanently, and obviously the big discussion on social media was what's going to become of this. There are people saying, is Disney going to retheme this as just a Star Wars hotel, and kind of, so to speak, kind of dumb things down, and maybe make it to where it's not so. I think the thing with Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser was the price. I mean, and it was pretty much $4,000 or $5,000 for a 2-day experience. Which unless I had several friends, and there are a lot of people that were saying that this was for the super wealthy, and I somewhat disagree. I had several friends, all which are average income, people, save up for this. If you wanted to do this, you did it. I had several friends save up their money. You could split it 3 or 4 ways, with 2 or 3 of your friends, and go do the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser experience. But that's not to say that the $5,000 $4,000 or $5,000 price tag was still out of reach for a lot of people, and for what you get for the 2 days, it's it was a tough pill to swallow for what you got for the price. And I said before, this isn't something that I would want to do with my, I love my kids to death, but I wouldn't take my 3 kids on this. this was a full-on Star Wars LARPing cosplay experience. If you were going to do this, you were going to do it. You were going to go all out. You were going to dress up. You were going to have 2 or 3 different outfits. You were, like I said, I had several close friends save up and do this, and they went all out with the costumes, with the, the acting. Some of my friends even like made up their own Star Wars characters and went to this. So it was a big deal for several of my Star Wars friends. And it's tough. Where does Disney go with this now? Do they, like I said, do they close it down and do some sort of simpler experience, maybe with the dinner show, maybe like an a la carte thing where you can go stay at the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser for a few days and pick and choose your adventures, or pick and, kind of choose your own adventure thing? What's up, Sam? Where, kind of an a la carte thing where you book your stay at the Galactic Star Cruiser for a more reasonable price instead of, $4,000 or $5,000, and you give guests the option of adding on things, the dinner show, lightsaber training, some of the thing with this is it was very immersive. Everybody that did it said you spent very little time in your room. You were out doing missions. You were out, solving puzzles. And from all my friends that did the Galactic Star Cruiser, they all said it was very, very involved, and you spent very little time in your cabin, so to speak. So, anyways. It'll be very interesting to see where Disney goes with this. I'm curious. Does it come as a surprise? There were a lot of people shocked that it just closed, that Disney just closed it. But I think if they're going to change it into something, they needed to close it, if that makes sense. There were a lot of people saying, oh, why is Disney closing it and not just going... Excuse me, I need to take a drink. There were a lot of people like on Twitter and stuff saying, well, why doesn't Disney take Galactic Star Cruiser and change it into something? Why are they closing it permanently? And I think they would have to close it for at least a certain amount of time to get it ready for some sort of alternate experience if they're going to stick with this whole Star Wars Hotel Galactic Star Cruiser thing. Just do a simpler version of it. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see where Disney goes with this. What do you guys think in the chat? Let me know. Do you think they could turn it into a Star Wars hotel? And that's the thing too, is it's not your traditional hotel. It doesn't have a pool. It doesn't have, some of the amenities that a hotel has. So I really think the thing I was discussing about making it almost like an a la carte experience where you book your stay on the Galactic Star Cruiser and then you can choose kind of like almost a la carte options. I think that would be a good way to go. Just my 2 cents. So, anyways, we have these details and the statement from Disney up on ThrillGeek.com if you guys want to check it out. And if you want to check out a kind of a snapshot of the Galactic Star Cruiser, like I said, I did a 3-part video series of my 8-hour crash course that I got to go through on the Galactic Star Cruiser. That's up on the ThrillGeek YouTube channel. I think you can search ThrillGeek Galactic Star Cruiser, and all 3 parts usually come up right at the top. But I did a 3-part video because I did a lot of filming that day. Like I said, it was like an 8-hour crash course on the Galactic Star Wars experience, the media event that I went to. It wasn't the full 2-day experience, but I filmed enough to where I had to split it up into 3 videos. So if you guys want a little taste of what the Galactic Star Cruiser was like, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. I have what's up, Tommy? Yeah, it was a crazy news day today. Well, not just today. This whole week has been pretty crazy. But I'm chatting about Galactic Star Cruiser closing. The big news from today and that is Galactic Star Cruiser closing at Disney World. The final cruise voyage, whatever you want to call it, will be September 28th through September 30th, which is my birthday. So donate to my Venmo. Send me like $4,000 so I can go on Galactic Star Cruiser for my birthday. But yeah, it'll be very. It'll be very curious to see where Disney goes with this. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you mean? That's all? That's all. Yeah, 4,000, 4,500, however much it was for the Star Cruiser. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with this, because Disney invested a lot into this. There was a lot of money invested into this Galactic Star Cruiser experience. The development of it, the building of it, just everything. Yeah, you can Venmo me the $4,500, Tommy. I'll be looking for it in my Venmo. You want my Venmo? And the other thing are the cast members. The cast and the cast and crew of this thing absolutely made this Galactic Star Cruiser thing. The dinner show, just the characters on the Galactic Star Cruiser. So my heart goes out to every single cast member that was involved with the Galactic Star Cruiser, because now they're going to have to be, relocated to somewhere else. They poured their heart and soul into this attraction, this experience, I guess you could say. So it bums me out for them because they were, like I said, the 8 hours that I got at Galactic Star Cruiser, the character interactions that I had were some of the coolest experiences I've ever had at a Disney theme park. Just the what's the word I'm looking for? The in-depth of what some of these characters went to on the Galactic Star Cruiser were absolutely insane. So my heart goes out to all these cast members that are going to have to be, relocated or what have you. So, yeah, kind of an interesting situation with so many variables with Galactic Star Cruiser closing here. Somebody on Twitter was like, "Oh, why don't they just make it a part of Galaxy's Edge?" And I was like, "How are they going to do that? They literally have to shuttle when it's normally Galactic Star Cruiser. They have a shuttle that goes between that one entry point at Galaxy's Edge over to Galactic Star Cruiser and back. Well, when you leave Galactic Star Cruiser and you go to Batuu, and then from Batuu back to the Galactic Star Cruiser." So I don't see how they would integrate this into Galaxy's Edge somehow. It just that doesn't seem feasible to me. Still make it a separate experience. Just don't make it so expensive. I think the pricing was everything. If they could find out some way, obviously it would still be expensive, but it wouldn't be $4,000 or $5,000 expensive. If they could find some way to make it, I don't want to start throwing, numbers out, but I think if they could get the pricing down to a reasonable amount, I think it would be more successful. It's just, that price tag was a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people. So like I said, I think if they found some way to keep it, but make it to where it wasn't so expensive, that's, the pricing is the one thing that it keeps coming back to. This thing was a $4,000 or $5,000 cosplay LARPing experience. It wasn't something ideal for the family. Which I'm sure families of with little kids did this, but it wasn't ideal for them. Parents that had $4,000 or $5,000 to blow on this thing, good for you. That's fantastic. But this, it wasn't. This didn't. What's the word I'm looking for? This didn't appeal to the masses, and unfortunately, with the price tag, I just, yeah, Tommy, a lot of people say that, if they had the money, they would go, and like I was saying too, I had a lot of friends that would save up, like I said, if you really, 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 really wanted to do this, and you were a straight up 110% Star Wars guru, and you wanted to do this, you did it. I had several friends, none of which were, which were, super wealthy, millionaires. But I had several friends that saved up their money, and they did this, because they wanted to do it. A lot more than I thought that I would see over the, year or so that this has been open. I actually saw several friends of mine save up their money, split it. The room can sleep 3 or 4 people. They would split it 3 ways, $1,500 or so a person. Yeah. Trustbreaker 49 says 4 to 5K on top of a regular hotel plus park tickets. Yeah. If and that's the thing too. A lot of people, again, kind of going back to a lot of my friends that did this, they literally came down just for this. And that was it. They didn't do any of the parks. They didn't do any water parks. They did nothing but this. They literally flew down for Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, did the 2 days, and went home. That was it. They weren't doing any parks. They weren't doing anything, because it's going to get expensive. Once you start doing park tickets and, you need a hotel because this isn't your hotel. This is only a 2-day experience. So you still need a hotel. If you're doing a week's vacation, you're talking, excuse me, $10,000. If you're a family of like 4 or 5, easily, it was expensive to do this. I'm not, Geek Serenity says, I thought it was too expensive for the amount of time it lasted. Yeah, there were a lot of people that saying the 2-day experience, for the $4,500, $5,000, whatever it was, price tag. The 2 days wasn't enough, which I get. It probably ended before it started. I've been on 3 or 4 day cruises, and that's nowhere near long enough for a cruise. The fact that this is, you get there, you sleep, you have a whole day, and then the next day you're off. It was a pretty short. It was a pretty short trip aboard the Halcyon. So yeah, no, it was definitely a short trip. How long ideal would be, I would probably say, but again, this stuff you are so invested into this stuff. I probably wouldn't want to go any more than 3 or 4 days. I think after that it would start to get really draining, and you're cooped up on this. You are confined, except for the little time you get to go to Batuu over in Hollywood Studios. You are confined to this spaceship with, with limited means of stuff to do. So, it was cool. Don't get me wrong. I had a blast. Like I said, the 7 or 8 hour crash course that I got aboard Galactic Star Cruiser was really cool. And I would have loved to have done the full thing. I just, I got 3 kids, and I don't think, again, kind of going back to kids with this thing, I couldn't see, even if I had the money, I couldn't see myself paying for this with 3 kids. I would have much rather have done this with 1 or 2 of my older friends, kind of my age. Don't get me wrong. I love my kids. But I see myself, I would have done this with, 2 or 3 of my friends, kind of my age, all of us getting dressed up in, Star Wars, cosplay. And, yeah, Tommy says, I wonder what they'll do with it after it closes. Yeah, that's the big question. What are they going to do with it? I've been kind of sitting here brainstorming what they're going to do with it, what they could do with it. Do they turn it into a Star Wars hotel? And the one thing that I came up with, and that I've already mentioned, is doing kind of like an a la carte thing where you book your stay at the Galactic Star Cruiser, and then you get the option of choosing what stuff you want to do. Do you want to do the dinner show? Do you want to do lightsaber training? That way, it eases off the price. Still make it a premium experience, but it's not $4,000 or $5,000 premium experience. The bar, there's a really cool bar on there, and the whole thing with this is this just isn't a building that you can walk into. It's literally a it's a cruise ship out in space. So how do you factor that into making this kind of an experience where more people can do it, but also still kind of keep that theme of a galactic cruise almost? I think that's the tricky part, is figuring out what they can do with this, but also kind of keeping the theme of this whole galactic cruise thing that you're going on. And Tommy says turn it into a Star Wars wedding pavilion. Yeah, that'd be cool, because in the atrium they have the chandelier that falls down when Kylo Ren and Rey are fighting. That'd be a fantastic backdrop for your wedding photos. Kylo Ren and Rey fighting in the background, stormtroopers all around. That'd be pretty funny, actually. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, no, there was tons of discussion online on Twitter and stuff about what's Disney going to do with this now. Now that they announced that it's closing at the end of September. So I'll be very curious to see what happens. And like I said, there were a lot of people shocked that their exact words were, "Oh, why is Disney closing Galactic Star Cruiser instead of changing it into, like I said, like a Star Wars hotel or something like that?" And my thought process is, well, in order for them to change it, I think they have to close it, and they have to kind of get through all these last reservations of people that have bookings for Galactic Star Cruiser. So either way, I think they have to close it. Whether they're going to change it or whether they're going to, completely scrap this thing and bulldoze it, I don't know. It'll be very curious. I'll be very curious to see where they go with this Galactic Star Cruiser. But yeah, it's interesting. It was a shock. I don't think anybody was expecting Disney announced to close it, that they were going to announce that they're closing it. They obviously didn't announce what the future plans for it are. I think the only thing that they said in their statement was, we will take what we've learned, excuse me, to create future experiences that can reach more of our guests and fans. So that was kind of an interesting comment from them. Because they said this premium boutique experience gave us the opportunity to try new things on a smaller scale of 100 rooms. So they were very specific in their statement, mentioning that this was a much, much smaller scale. And then they said, as we prepare for its final voyage, we will take what we've learned to create future experiences that can reach more of our guests and fans. So that was an interesting statement. Then they said, we are so proud of all of the cast members and Imagineers who brought Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser to life, and look forward to delivering an excellent experience for guests during the remaining voyages over the coming months. And then again, bookings right now for Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser are temporarily closed while Disney figures out everybody that had a voyage after that late September final voyage. And then they said bookings will reopen on May 26th for the remainder of the voyages up until the final one on September 28th through the 30th, which again is my birthday. The whole fiscal thing with Disney, Illuminations ended on my birthday, September 30th, which was traumatic for me. I'm kind of whatever. Galactic Star Cruiser ends on my birthday. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Disney ending all these things on my birthday. So anyways, if you want to help support my cause and send me to Galactic Star Cruiser for its final voyage on September 28th through the 30th, be in touch. I'll send you my Venmo. Like I said, Tommy, hook me up. So, all right. I only had one quick pop culture thing that I wanted to talk about really quick, and that was the new Haunted Mansion trailer that dropped. What did you guys think of this? Let me know in the chat. We got our second trailer. This one provided a much closer look at the movie. I'm liking where this one's going, but I'm still being very cautious with this. This one it got a PG-13 rating, which was pretty good. So that means it's definitely going to be creepier. I think the PG-13 rating was for, how they say exactly what the rating was for, that it's creepy, and which don't get me wrong. I've said on our live stream podcast before that I absolutely couldn't stand the Haunted Mansion, the Eddie Murphy one. That movie was horrible. There's a lot of people saying I'm wrong for that, and I don't see what they saw in that movie. I couldn't stand it. It was horrible. I did not like it at all. So, anyways, this one looks fantastic. It looks like Jared Leto is going to be playing the Hatbox Ghost, from what I understand, and he looks great. The Hatbox Ghost looks great. We got to look at the bride. You see the Hitchhiking Ghost in the trailer. We got our first look at Jamie Lee Curtis as Madame Leota, which she actually looks pretty good. Her all makeup inside the ball, the sphere. She actually looks pretty good as Leota. I have to give him credit where credit is due. And so she looked really good. And what else did we see in the trailer? We saw the Hitchhiking Ghost. It's really cool, the scene where she's in that chair that looks like a doom buggy, and she's being carried out the front of the building. So clearly they were going with a doom buggy vibe from that. Here's a look at the new poster with everybody on it. I keep forgetting that Rosario Dawson's in it. She's Ahsoka in the live action series. She's in it. But yeah, I'm excited for it. But like I said, I am treading very, very lightly with this movie and not getting overly excited. As there is a happy medium, and I think the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion, went a little bit too much to the comedic side of too silly for me, too much comedy, and not enough spooky. I don't expect what I love. Everybody wants a Guillermo del Toro Haunted Mansion movie. Would I want one of those? Sure, I wouldn't turn one away. But I think there's a happy medium with a Haunted Mansion movie of silliness and horror, and I don't think the Eddie Murphy one hit that. If this movie hits it, then I will walk out a happy camper. And it looks like there is definitely a more creepy vibe to this movie, which I am very, very excited for. But again, I'm keeping my expectations very low. And like I said, as long as I go in and there's that fine line of spooky and comedy, which is the Haunted Mansion ride. The Haunted Mansion ride is an orchestra of silliness and some spooky moments. So, and I think these Haunted Mansion movies need to portray that. And I think the Eddie Murphy one, I think the one thing that I didn't like about it is it went too much to the comedy realm and didn't go too much to the horror spooky side. If this new one that's coming out opens in theaters on July 28th, Friday, July 28th, does a little bit better of blending the horror with the silly moments of Haunted Mansion, then I'll be sold on it, and I will walk out of the theater a happy camper. And yes, I will be seeing this in the movie theater, as I should be. So, and then it says the Haunted Mansion is about a woman and her son who enlist a motley crew of so-called spiritual experts to help rid their home of supernatural squatters. And it is heading to theaters on July 28th. So, there we go. Haunted Mansion coming out soon. So, anyways, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Madison coming in at the beginning of the stream talking about Pipeline with me. If you guys missed that, be sure to go back and check that out. We give our thoughts on Pipeline, the surf coaster at SeaWorld Orlando. And then she left, and I just kind of plowed through all the news from this week, which was a lot, between Galactic Star Cruiser, Minion Land at Universal Studios Florida, Spider-Man closing at Universal Studios Japan, and there were a few other things in between there. So there was a lot for me to go over this week. So I appreciate you guys. Tommy, appreciate you. Michael. Who else came in here? Trustbreaker49, appreciate you coming in. Geek Serenity, as always. I appreciate you guys tuning into the live stream, as always. Follow us on all of our social. I don't have Barry here to do our social media outro, so make sure you're following ThrillGeek everywhere. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. Everything is ThrillGeek. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yes, we have a Pinterest, which is actually Thrill_Geek. That's the only one where I couldn't get the ThrillGeek one word. But all of our articles go to our Pinterest page. So if you have a Pinterest, follow us on Pinterest. And then TikTok. And, of course, right here on our YouTube and Twitch channels where we do our ThrillGeek This Week live stream every week. Wednesday. This week it was Thursday because I had a lot of family stuff last night with kids and going everywhere. I was exhausted, so I pushed it to tonight. But normally our live stream is Wednesday evenings, 8:30, right here on our YouTube and Twitch channels. So make sure right here on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, you're subscribed, you got the notification turned on so you don't miss any of our updates, posts, live streams. Geek Serenity, appreciate you. Yeah, of course. Thanks for tuning in, as always. I really appreciate it. But yeah, Wednesday evenings, 8:30, right here on our YouTube and Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ThrillGeek. Make sure you're following us on Twitch if you prefer that to watch the stream as well. So anyways, guys, I'm going to get my music queued up here. I think I never muted my music. So, but yeah, I appreciate you guys. Take care. Be safe. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.